Hello, welcome to the Tiny Chapel. We're going to be talking a little bit today about happiness in the Bible. Now, the Bible has primarily two things that they speak of as sources of happiness. All right. One is statements like this: that happy are those who do not follow the advice of the wicked. Happy are those whose transgressions are forgiven. For sure, that'd be great. Happy are those who make the Lord their trust. And O Lord of hosts, happy is everyone who trusts in you. So that's sort of on the Yahweh, God Almighty side of the ledger. And then there's a sort of domestic happiness is mentioned, especially in the Psalms and Proverbs and so forth, such as happy are those with a sensible wife. Also, happy is the one who does not sin with his tongue. Happy is the husband of a good wife. There's a little bit in this extra addition to Esther 15:5, which I'll read to you, which was, she was radiant with perfect beauty, and she looked happy, as if beloved, but her heart was frozen with fear. I think that's a wonderful literary expression, actually. So that's the typical business in the Old Testament, that you should be happy because you trust in God, because you don't sin, because you have a good wife. It doesn't say anything about being happy because you have a good husband. Maybe the old Jewish guys who wrote these Old Testament things were not much concerned about whether the wife was happy. Mainly they were concerned that they have a good wife and they be happy. But in any event, that's sort of it. Now in the New Testament, there's only one happy guy, and I don't think you would ever guess it. His name is Zacchaeus, and he appears in the book of Luke only. And Zacchaeus is described to us as a little short guy. And the little short guy, Zacchaeus, climbed up a tree. We know the type of tree. It's a sycamore tree, to see Jesus. And from his perch in the sycamore tree, Jesus spied him and called him down to give him hospitality. And it said that, let's see if Jesus looked up to the place and said, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. So he hurried down, Zacchaeus, and was happy to welcome him. And I would be too, wouldn't you? Happy to welcome Jesus to your house. But that's the Zacchaeus story. Now, what I want to get to with this is, I've heard a lot of discussions, sort of pseudo-scientific or semi-scientific discussions about happiness lately on my great source of information about the outside world, National Public Radio. And they kind of chew this over like a dog with a bone, and they can't seem to get to the answer. But I think it's really straightforward enough. After years of wondering about this and hoping to be happy and in general being happy, but I've come to this conclusion about it. First off, is happiness really is not something that you can seek and find. I mean, you set out to be happy, and you look at some of the figures in our modern world, and you think they have everything going for them, but they don't really seem happy. No, the source of happiness really is harmony with God's plan. So be in harmony with God's plan. And of course that does mean in harmony with God's nature. Nature is the expression of God Almighty in the world where we live. So yes, by all means, be in harmony with nature, a healthy mind and a healthy body, but also be sure that you yourself are conforming to the will of God. And then you will find that when you really are doing that and really trying hard to do that and letting God help you to do that, that you'll be happy. God bless you. Thanks for coming to the Tiny Chapel. See you next time.